Chapter 4. A Short Rest. The journey continued for many days, and they began to feel the danger that was all around them. There was very little food in the bags, and at night, their ponies ate better than they did. One morning, they crossed a river that was wide and shallow. The water made a pleasant sound as it flowed over the rocks. Bilbo could not identify exactly what he was feeling, but he sensed a magic that was in the river as they crossed to the other side. They continued on, and Bilbo could see that the mountains were much closer than before. "Is that the mountain?" asked Bilbo, looking at a dark peak in the distance.
"Of course not,"
said Gandalf.
"That is only the Misty Mountains. We must go through them, or over them, or under them to the other side. And after that, we must travel a very long way before we reach the mountain where Smaug sleeps on our treasure."
Gandalf was leading the party.
"We must pay attention to the road, or we will be lost in the wilderness,"
he said.
"We need food and supplies, and rest in a safe place before we cross the Misty Mountains."
The dwarves asked him where they were going, and he answered,
"We are going towards the beautiful valley of Rivendell, where Elrond lives. I sent a message by my friends. He is expecting us." "I have found the path,"
cried Gandalf.
"We are close now."
They all could hear the sound of water falling, and the scent of the trees was clean and fresh. And in the distance, they could see the light of fires and torches. It was Rivendell, one of the last homes of the elves in Middle-earth. "It feels like elves," thought Bilbo as they approached a bridge that crossed a small river. They could hear the voices of elves now, singing and talking in the darkness. They stayed for 14 days at that house, and it was difficult for them to leave. Bilbo felt like he could stay there forever and ever, even if he could fly back to his comfortable hobbit home in the Shire. But there is very little to tell about their stay with Elrond, the master of the house, and a friend of Gandalf. Elrond's part in the story of Bilbo's great adventure is only a small one, but an important one, as you will see. He was a great elf warrior and leader, a descendant of men and elves. He was noble and strong, and as wise as a wizard. He knew all about ancient writing and languages, and he was able to read the strange symbols on the swords Gandalf and Thorin found in the troll cave. "These are not troll swords," said Elrond as he examined them. "They are very old. They were made by the High Elves of the West. They were made in the great city of Gondolin for the Goblin Wars. The runes on these swords give their names. Thorin, your sword is called Orcrist, the Goblin Cutter, in the ancient language of Gondolin. It was a famous blade. This sword, Gandalf, was Glamdring, enemy hammer. The king of Gondolin used it himself. You may need them as soon as you cross the misty mountains.
But show me your map, Elrond continued.
Thorin gave the map to Elrond, and he looked at it for a long time. The moon was shining bright in the night sky, and Elrond held up the map, and the moonlight came through it.
"What is this?" he said.
"There are moon letters here, next to the visible words that identify the secret door."
"What are moon letters?" asked the hobbit, full of excitement.
"Moon letters are magical letters that can only be seen when the moon shines behind them. They were invented by the dwarves," explained Elrond.
What do they say?
asked Gandalf and Thorin together. Elrond began to read. "Stand by the grey stone when the thrush knocks, and the last light of the setting sun on Durin's day will shine on the keyhole."
Durin, said Thorin. "He was the father of the fathers of the race of dwarves, and my ancestor. I am his heir. But we have lost the skill to know when Durin's day is, except that it is a day between autumn and winter. Is there any more writing on the map?"
asked Gandalf. "None that I can read with this moon," answered Elrond. "Perhaps you will learn more on your journey." The next morning was a perfect summer day, beautiful and warm. The party rode away from Rivendell as the elves sang and danced. Their hearts were ready for more adventure, and they were prepared for the next phase of their journey, to cross over the misty mountains.